Okay. Cool. So today I'm going to really talk quickly about a few things. I'm building Digitality.rocks, and here's a little something for you. See if it's going to work. All right. Just to get the theme going. So if you can go to this webpage URL, it's available to go to. I'm giving you a moment to write it down and a moment to copy paste and see if you can get there. So I got familiar with Nexus about 2 years ago. I do crypto technical analysis. You might have seen of my work. I'm gonna just switch back and forth. This is some of the things I do. You might have seen me. And all right, I hope everyone had the chance to copy this. All right, if anything, oh, you know what I can do? If I can just do this, that would be probably better. Ha. Cool. All right, so let's see what we actually have here. This is an NFT wannabe demo MVP. That's hold on a second. Let me just load this. Wow, it's really taking. Okay. It's built in Bubble. You already saw a little bit demonstration of the Bubble, how it works. And here's the Nexus-driven NFT marketplace that's going to be probably and hopefully launching this year. So this is some of the UI expectations you may see. All of this is built in the Bubble, as you've heard. I never worked in a Bubble. I'm a front-end developer professionally. This is my project in Bubble first time. I did this in 1 month. Let's say if we can, some of the UI, let's see if you like, I like the leopard here. If you manage to go to the website, we'll take a look at that a little later. You can sign in. We just saw an example how that's done. You basically use Nexus to log in. There is a, I'll show you in a little bit. So just like the other marketplaces in NFT, you got the picture, NFT image, you got the value, the owners, the descriptions and history, all of that is generated through the Nexus. And you basically interact like you would, and you can bid and ask, which is not yet implemented, but it will be because this is MVP, and there's some things that still needs to be worked out on contracts and things like that. In here, you can of course go to your profile. Let me load that up, and you'll be using Bubble allows you to do lots of cool things, just like you would do if you were developing a real, let's say, React or other framework application. You got all this list of your content, you buy collections that you purchase. This is generated through Bubble. I'll show you later how a little bit of the inner works. But here's the cool thing. So when I started, so if I'll just quickly show you, this is hidden version. So you have the signups and login. So when I initially designed this, I didn't know exactly how to do with Bubble. I actually had to, at least I thought that I need to have a password integrated into the Bubble, because to change the emails and things like that, you kind of need a password in their Bubble system. But in reality, once we have a full application, none of that is not going to be there. It's going to be fully decentralized. You're going to be fully integrated with the Nexus. But ignore this message. I mean, all of this is just a test run. It's all testnet. As long as you log in, you're good to go. All right, let's go back here. And I think if we go to account, just to show you to the extent what I was able to accomplish in 1 month on Bubble. I mean, we're talking about a person who'd never done Bubble in their entire life, just had some UI experience and know how to do a couple of things. So you have the general things. You can upload your pictures. Click here. You will basically upload your stuff. Change your username. Buy all those things. You got your so Digitalities, we'll talk about that a little later. You got all your digits, you can edit, review them. There's a process of validating. So when you have admin, as you can see here on top, you got your sales, you got your accounts. And the one of the most important things that I'll show you here is that this is the Nexus profile. So this actually goes into the Nexus and checks all your assets, all your NFTs, and then displays there. So this is an actual blockchain like all your NFTs driven. So there's no SQL service pinging. There's all of that is actually interacting with the blockchain's API. And I hope you understand the value of what we're perceiving here. This is actually fully, I guess, decentralized. All the bubble is doing for me is just basically displaying content. And I mean, look what we're storing. We're storing information. We're storing actual internet file, whatever, interplanetary file protocol system, whatever it's called. So if you let's see if I can open the image in a new tab right here. You'll see this is where it's actually been saved. So your actual NFT is tied to the decentralized file system, and that's that's exactly what you have on other marketplaces. Okay, great. Oh, I see myself. Wonderful. All right. Let's see. So that's cool. You see your Genesis code. All right. Cool. Let's see what else we can show. We got the basic admin that Bubble allows you to control. So obviously you have an admin, some sort of for the marketplace in this environment. I really hope you guys are playing around the website, logging in, a lot of stuff, because this is just basic stuff, commissions. One of the things I learned when I started to really getting into NFTs, all those marketplaces, they actually have relatively high commission in some instances on the transactions. So it's a legitimate business for NFTs in marketplaces, and you can see what we have approved, right? And as admin, I'll be able to interact. And again, this is all of that in the month of development of Bubble without knowing any Bubble work, just the concept as a UI developer. Just here we go. You can decline all that stuff. So just one more final click here before we quickly talk about bigger things. So it's a little slow, hopefully, because you guys are on it and interacting with this app. So I'll keep it on for as long as I can. After the demo, so other people may be able to interact with it, get to see what's possible on a Bubble, because it is an important, useful tool to build the MVPs. So like if you click here, you get the full screen, all of that. Hope you like the interface and all that. This is one of my favorite pictures. It's pretty cool. Okay, and you can define, and just to show you how to create, you basically put all this information, your file upload, your hash map, description, your reserves, and your PIN is to confirm, and you basically submit it. I don't have a picture here, but you get the idea. So, all right. So what is right. Go. So again, there's an article. Probably should paste that too, but let's forget it. You guys take a look at it later. There was a great article that came out for the Medium for Nexus about NFTs. Well, if we can think about NFTs, right? It's basically what about a year or 2 years ago, we had this, Internet of Things. That was the big thing. It was going to be, everything's going to be connected. It's going to be amazing, all that stuff. But NFTs basically is the new IoT of 2019, basically. But in reality, NFT is kind of also turning into ROT, which is reality of things. So because now basically NFT is digitalizing everything that you can think of, from real estate to insurance. It's becoming kind of like a signature or identity of an asset. So we all actually, in reality, we are all talking NFTs, if you really think about it, because we have a certain identity that's only unique and it's in some sort of a network, and we're basically trying to interact with it. And what Nexus is doing is really fascinating, right? Because it creates an asset. So asset is tied to account or accounts, and it's kind of has another fungibility ability that you can start creating royalties and shareables, all that stuff. You already heard some of that presentation yesterday. But another thing I want to point out is basically where all of this is going, right? How we're gonna perceive, and why I think Digitality.rocks or any other marketplaces. I'm kind of lagging actually. All right. So as you can see, there's a huge marketplace. So how this all gonna go into the place in overall, over all of this context? We got huge market demand. We have incredible supply, and it's only going to expand. We have one of the few things we have happened in the last 2 months. We have Algorand, which basically had 4 million records, basically through Italian, intellectual property that registered on their asset registration, which is kind of similar to Nexus, which is a great thing because they think, great minds think alike and they have the same similarities. And then we have Super Rare, which got a $9 million offering to continue to develop the NFT marketplace. So this is a growing environment, and we are only getting started as we have digitalization of video games and reality, like I mentioned. So it's really going to go more into, it's going to spread basically, and the ability to tap into this market is where I'm building this Digitality. So right now we have MVP. Let's basically build through Bubble, and it's nice visually, but it's not fully functional, right? So we really need to power it up to the next level. And right now, my steps and my basic objective is continue to work with Nexus and their team to get it to a speed where it's going to be fully decentralized, and definitely going to have all the UI and whistles that it is required for the marketplace. So this is the goal for 2021, ideally. And at that point, we're going to grow foundations slowly by step, right? And it's going to lead us to a point, ideally in 2022, 23, where we can really turn that Digitality.rocks and transform it more into just NFT of digital art, and into the ability to kind of like sort of like transcend it and becomes more of an entity where you can pretty much NFT anything and absolutely anything. Like we're talking about from a digital asset that's dropping in your video game that you created somehow that you can redeem into the NFT. Sort of like it becomes like a coupon, so to speak, which is it's like a randomly drop. There's lots of things to work out, but in overall where we're going is basically this is only the beginning. Unlike the ICO and IoT things, it's just is going to continue to grow. And I'm really excited about the fact that I'm part of that. I originally was an artist before I became a front-end developer and programmer and all that stuff. So I'm really passionate in the fact of continuing to work in our art industry in some way and continue to work with Nexus. The things that they're coming up is just gonna able to really revolutionize in some ways the NFT market, as I believe, as many others are doing right now. So I think good.
That's wonderful. We have a few questions from the community. The first question is this project in beta?
Well, the definition of beta in my mind would be actual working prototype, right? So this would be an alpha. This is more MVP because I had to start thinking in Nexus API. How does the blockchain interact with data, and how would I have to, because you have to start thinking. Once you're done with that process, then everything else is going to move forward. So this is just a preview of what's to come, right? So we're talking about, I'm going to continue to work. I need to build the team of other developers to work with me a little bit on UI on the back end to create the architecture here. But yes, it's definitely going to become a thing where anyone who's on Nexus or any other medium will be able to use their API power of the blockchain to create the content they need. Just one more thing I'd like to say. Remember, all this is just an interface, right? The blockchain is the power, and UI just gives you the layer to interact with that blockchain. So the goal of Digitality.rocks is to basically create a layer for interactivity with the blockchain. Yeah, any more?
Another question is, do you need a testnet account to log in?
Yes, you do. There is a way to sign up. Just put random username. Random username, email, password, and PIN. There's no checking, so you can just log in whatever you want and start playing with it. As long as like eight characters password, I think like 4 characters PIN. I think there's some limitations. Username I think is 2 characters, but yeah, as long as it's a valid email, you can basically sign up. And if there's some problems, I can just update the. Oh yeah, so I guess what I can do, I can show you the bubble, and you can see some of the designs and workflows that actually gets to become what we see, like some of the, let's say, login, right? Well, login you already saw, but So it takes a little time. So you can see here some of the, see that's authentication. So right, so like it was getting used to the idea of click and drag and basically interacting here. So I can probably give you access to like here. You basically, I'll update this later with some fake account that you can just log in. You don't have to sign up. Probably should have done that. But yeah. Anything else?
And the last question is, are there any limitations to what Nexus blockchain can handle with respect to how much storage is available for each SIG chain?
Yeah, so I actually already ran into it in testnet. So yeah, there's definitely limitations on bytes. And I'm going to collaborate with the Nexus team in terms of fees, because there's a price in on mainnet to create the Nexus asset. So we're going to find a good medium so it protects from spam and gives us bandwidth in terms of size, so we can create a more coherent NFTs basically, because there's definitely need for space. We don't want to turn Nexus into a database per se, but we want to have some sort of flexibility. Absolutely. And yeah, and it will, collaboration has to take place here.
The non-fungible tokens are known as assets on Nexus, and the maximum amount that each register or non-fungible token can hold is it 1 kilobyte, which is about 1,000 characters of text.
Yeah.
Does that sound about right?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. So when you make a description, actually, when you create an asset, you'll be actually restricted. You won't be able to type forever. There's going to be a limit, basically, at some point. And that is again all done in Bubble, right? I don't know how much. Yeah, that's it. Right. It's all not. But if you think about it, that's a lot of text you can put in the description. And if you go to a bunch of other NFT marketplaces, there's not even lots of text to begin with. It's just basically, hey, I'm the author. Here's the text. And this is just MVP, right? There's when you go into full production mode, and that's what's going to happen. We're going to have actual, front end, not just Bubble. We're going to have metadata, which is going to be much more specific, which have a lot of references and other things. Yeah. Yes, it's going to be great things. And I want to point out this very critical piece of information, right? So when you push this hash map, IPFS, right, you still need to have an actual endpoint of that file living somewhere. So the way I've done it through this application, I'm using pinata.com or IO service, which converts my hash or file into their own IPFS, which is stored through this Bubble, service through the company. And so this is how you're able to have these NFTs. But if I go down for some reason and I shut down my server, all those IPFs will be gone, right? So same things will happen to everybody else's NFTs. And all of a sudden, our super rare or all those stuff, wherever they're posting their IPFs, if they shut them down, the files will be gone. That is why whatever Nexus is building with a decentralized file system or virtual file system is very critical for NFTs. And I'm really looking forward to how they're going to implement it and how it's going to affect the market in a new way.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Adrian. Looking forward to seeing more of Digitality.rocks.
Yeah, great. Take care. Bye-bye.